What's up, savages? Today's video is based on what you all tweeted me. Now, I got like 4 or 5 tweets basically saying, hey, what's your stance on politics? And I want to first start by saying I hate politics. And I hate talking about it to people. There's the two things I don't like talking about. Politics and weather. Because talking about it means nothing. It changes absolutely dick. But if you must know, I'm a libertarian. Why? Because I barely know how to take care of myself, so how can I tell anyone else how to take care of themselves? It's the only thing that makes sense to me, and that's what I stand by. So, other than that, let's never talk about politics again. Awesome. Moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I am Gandhi, and today we are going to be debating a couple things here. Now, I know it's a debate by myself, but I want everyone to weigh in. I know the comments are still, a little bit on YouTube, but even still, you have my Twitter right there. Message me, tweet me, whatever it is, email me. I want to talk about this. And the main thing I want to talk about is it's like a consistent argument all the time on Twitter. And this argument is, do games need to be esports friendly? Do they need to be tailored to the competitive scene? And then on the other side, it's like, games don't need to be competitive at all, right? So I guess the topic of today is going to be, do games need to be competitive? Okay. Now, right off the break, I want to say that the majority of video games out there are not competitive. Everyone knows that. That's not a shocker to anyone. It isn't. People like video games because it's an escape from reality. They're able to go home, they're able to rewind, they're able to get away from that shitty secretary who never brings him the fucking papers on time. And he wants to kill her every day. And then they have to deal with traffic on 66 West. And it's just awful. They're just locked dead in traffic, and they can't do anything about it, right? So they come home and they unwind in video games, whether it's Grand Theft Auto, whether it's, competitive gaming like Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Ghosts, kinda. I guess we can call it competitive now. League of Legends, Dota. It doesn't matter what the game is. They use it as an escape, period. Now, when I think about it more and more, do games need to be competitive? I think it's a complete biased answer, but there has to be something there that needs to be competitive, right? There has to be something. There has to be a way where I can say, I'm better than you. Because the one thing in this whole universe, especially with social media now, is social comparisons. It is in every single day life. Everyone knows this. When you're kicking ass, right? When you're having a good day, you're like, I wonder who's below me. And you bring out your phone, right? You bring out your phone and you're like, oh, this guy sucks. Look at his KD. He's not even good. I'm so much better than him, right? And you're like, oh, what a trash can. Like, he's not even remotely decent. Moving forward, right? And you're happy. You got this smug-ass smile on your face. And then you have a day where you just suck. And you're Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and you're just sad. And you look at someone who's, like, better than you, and you're like, man, how am I ever gonna get there? Like, he's got more followers than me. Makes more money than me. His placings are better than me. And that's not even in competitive. That's everything, right? Like, girls on Facebook are like, I get so many likes on this, or Instagram, I guess, is what it is now. I get so many more likes than you. Look at all my followers. They think I'm a slutty girl. Right? Like, one, I want to drown that person. But two, it's how it is. So I think there has to be something in every single game that deviates myself from you. Whether it's ranks, whether it's skins, whether it's a leaderboard, it has to be there. Now, personally, I'm going to take a competitive stance on every single thing. Because I'm just not a casual guy anymore. It's just not there. I don't play video games for fun. I play it to compete. Now, although I don't compete, which is kind of ironic, right? It's kind of like, well, how can I preach the gospel of competitive nature if I'm not even a competitor myself? Well, I'm a commentator, and I like the fact that I can be better or worse than someone, and I like seeing how my skills match up versus theirs. And I think that's kind of like the whole appeal of video games. The best thing about competitive gaming, right? Everyone always looks over this factor, right? Everyone goes, video games are awesome to get paid. Like, I get paid to play video games. That is awesome. They miss the biggest, most important part about video games. You know what's the best part about professional video games? Is anyone anyone has the potential to do it. You're not limited by genetics, right? Like if I'm 5'2" and I'm Asian, I'm not gonna fucking make it into the NBA. Period. Like it's never gonna happen. It can be my biggest dream. I could wake up every single day and play my ass off, right? Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You are fucked. There you go. If you're 5'2" and you're Asian, or if you're just 5'2" in general, you're fucked. I'm sorry. I crushed your hopes and dreams, but that's it. You will get devoured, right? Take that same kid, take that same dream, and apply it to video games. Bam, he's there. You can have, you can be paralyzed waist down, and you can still compete in video games. You're an equal, right? Like, that is the most amazing thing for people, is that you all have an equal chance as everyone else to be the best. That is beautiful. Now, of course, there is stuff that separates pros from amateurs, right? Like, everyone knows that. There's a bunch of differences. But the main thing that a lot of people don't realize is pros in video games have this unique ability of chunking information faster than amateurs. And what I mean by chunking is they're able to visualize the map. They're able to register what they are seeing at a faster rate than an amateur. And they're able to do process of elimination based on that. So they're like, oh, no one mid-street, there's no nades, I threw a stun over the left warehouse, and I didn't get a hit marker. That means they're probably going to be back alley. In this time, now I'm going to push, right? Whereas an amateur is like, all right, this fucking guy, I'm going to sit right here in this window, and eventually someone's going to come mid-map. And then no one comes mid-map, and they're like, I wonder where they're at. Right? Like, there's a difference. It's chunking information. It's funny, too, because they did a study with chess and elite players in chess, and they're able to tell, like, the gurus are able to tell if, at the age of 12, if you can be, like, a chess expert based on the fact of how fast you can chunk information. Is it the same thing with Halo? Is it the same thing with video games? It could be. It really could be. I don't know if I would go as early as 12. I think it comes with the maturity level. I think around the age of 16 that, you kind of come to grips and you say, okay, I have a real good shot of being a competitive gamer. That's what I think. Now, what does this have to do with anything that we're talking about today? Nothing. That's just, welcome to, this is an old school Gandhi's Thoughts. It's not live, but it's me going off on my tangents. So, when I think about competitive games, right, and when I think about video games as a whole, I think there's one thing that's apparent, right, is that everyone is going to have their own opinion, right, and most opinions suck. The fact of the matter is a game cannot be tailored for esports only. Period. Why? Because they have no casual audience. The in-house, okay, so this was explained to me by someone at a league, okay, a very prestige league that you guys could probably use process of elimination of, but I'm not going to say anything, and I'm not going to say any names. The in-house, right, so everyone who attends, all the teams who attend, the spectators, the people who buy the VIP bundles, the people who buy shirts, they sell out the merchandise, all that shit. The in-house still makes up about 10% of their revenue. 10%, right? Like, that's not a lot. I used to think it was like 70-30, 60-40, 65-35. It's not. 10%, 10 to 15%, I think, was the actual figure. 10 to 15% in-house. That's substantially low. Very, very low for a lot of things, right? So that means, where's the other revenue coming from? Online viewership. Online viewership makes up about 85 to 90% of their revenue. So, if we start a Kickstarter and I slap my face on there and we take like Day 9's face and then we take like Maven's shitty hairline and throw it on the box and we're just like, we're going to launch a competitive game, period. Like, this is going to be it. It's only going to be esports savvy. Everything else can burn and fuck, right? Okay, so we sell out our team passes, and our viewers are 15, 20K. Sure, that's great. But if it just stays at 15, 20K, like, we're never going anywhere. That's fucking scary. It's really weird to wrap your mind around, too. Because you would think selling out team passes, spectators being just flooding the venue, the pros are signing autographs, the personalities who are there are signing autographs, commentators are having a blast. You would think all of that stuff in-house would mean way more, but it doesn't. And that was like the most mind-blowing thing in the world to me. So when I think about it, I'm sitting here and I say, well, a game has to start off with a casual audience. They can launch with being esports savvy. They can. That is possible. All right? And of course, you know, you're going to look at the basics, okay? Spectator mode. Amazing for us like myself and other personalities so we can help grow the game and develop it. Okay? Awesome. That's really good. That is a necessity at this point. Ranks. Right? Like, ranks are there. Ranks are going to be in there. I don't care if it's you got to go from 1 to 100, like the prestige to unlock guns, like old school Call of Duty, or, well, I guess nowadays Call of Duty as well. But, or if it's a 1 through 50 ranking, like Halo 2, or if it was like a LOL system, or if it was like the StarCraft 2 system, it doesn't matter to me. There should be something implemented in there that makes me and John the Spartan 52 and his teammate Super Toaster Evil 5 want to continue to play the game. That's the thing. Ranks promote longevity, right? However you want to spin it, right? It could be the fact that, you know, people want to unlock this skin. They have to get this because they need enough experience so they can get this guy who has like a big old beard and he's got these cool ass visor on his fucking helmet, and on the back he's got a katana that he can't even use, but it doesn't matter because it's there. Right? Like, that little shit, like, keeps people playing. And it sucks, but it does. But on the same sense, if you take it and you add ranks in, like, on top of that just, it's like so much longevity, it's insane. Because people always want to be better than someone. That's all they give a shit about. So, ranks are a necessity, and then you have developer support. Developer support is by far the most important. And when we say developer support, I mean, like, you know, they're coordinating with the leagues, they're coordinating with the players, they're responding to the feedback, they're trying to figure out how they can better their game because it's their baby. It's weird though, right? And the reason it's weird is because when I'm thinking about it now, and Titanfall, like, the more I think about Titanfall and Destiny, I know a lot of people haven't been talking about Destiny, which is really starting to piss me off. I haven't done my research on it at all, I'll be honest. But, like, Destiny is made by Bungie. The last time Bungie made a fucking video game that they didn't give a shit about for the multiplayer was the best FPS of all time in Halo 1. The best. Period. The chess of FPS. If you disagree, let's play. Let's play. We'll sit down, and I will fucking sloop you. You take your game of choice in an FPS, and we'll go. And then we'll compare it to Halo 1. The fact that I can force spawns, the fact I can give random spawns, the fact I control where the other team's spawning, and my own team, and time power weapons, and nade every single fucking weapon around the map to me, makes it the best game. Period. Don't give a shit what anyone says. You can take your hard point in Black Ops 2, and that means that's barely scratching the surface. Barely. So anyways, Destiny doesn't give a shit about the multiplayer, at least from my understanding. So there's a decent... I slept on the couch and it fucked my neck up. I gotta stop doing that. I can't help it though, because when I'm in the living room, I'm like... It's like late at night and no one's up, so I'm like, oh man, I get to watch whatever the hell I want without being bothered. And then I end up falling asleep. Anyways, where the fuck was I? Oh, so the last time... So Destiny, will the multiplayer be good? I pray to God. It's Bungie. Like, it's Bungie, right? There's a conspiracy, by the way. There's a conspiracy that I'm going to talk about in a future video about Halo Reach and Bungie. It's a cool little conspiracy. I love conspiracies just because I always find them so interesting to myself, right? Like, I'm like, ooh, this could be possible. Or is it? It's all about I just like thinking, right? Like, thinking's cool. Some people hate it, and I think it's kind of cool. Now, when I come back and I think about Titanfall and Destiny, because I'm going to group them in the same thing, they're doing it right. They are establishing a casual audience right off the break, okay? With Destiny, you have all the people who are going to be playing the MOBAs, or not the MOBAs, the RPGs, the role-playing games, and stuff like that. You know, it's an MMO, right? It's like an MMO FPS, or I know there's going to be some jackass in the comments who's going to post in this like, oh, it is not an MMO FPS. Like, I don't care. I don't know the terminology. I apologize, okay? Whatever the fucking game is called or titled under the genre, they're doing it right. Okay? And the reason why both of these games are doing it right is because they are establishing their casual audience. People are going to play the shit out of Destiny. People are going to play the hell out of Titanfall. Why? Both games are appealing on different things. One game, I get to have special unique abilities, and I get to run around with my buddies and blow up shit. And then on the other side, I call down a mech. I can control a mech and thrust with my mech and strafe and shoot different rockets at the other mech and clean up people running in the streets. Like, are you kidding me? Who wouldn't play that? Now, in the same sense, right? Pause right here, okay? What about either of those two things did I just say was competitive? Nothing. Nothing. If you gave me the same shit in Halo or in Call of Duty, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. But these are brand new games, right? We have no idea how it's going to work out in the competitive level. So they both have established themselves as capturing the casuals. Now, from here, this is where things get interesting to me. Because as long as they're a little bit esports savvy and they give a shit about us at least a little bit, just a smidge, we're going to have good games, right? Because the viewership is going to be there. Now, will it be ideal? Who knows? We've never ran around the spawns. I have no idea how it works. I haven't even looked at it. Destiny, the same thing. Like, we have no idea. And to the people out there, just by the way, who are like tweeting, like the people from 343, and they're like, oh man, your game's gonna suck. Like, what is going on? Like, we haven't even seen a gameplay trailer for Halo Xbox One or Halo 5, whatever the hell it's going to be called. You can't make any assessments until that time has come. Like, do you remember when Halo 4 was coming out and they and there was that like shitty 1970s porn style film of Halo 4 gameplay, and everyone was like, what is Promethean Vision? Holy shit, this looks terrible. Right? And then like an ordnance drops down and you're like, what the shit? When that happens, because it always happens, there's always going to be a leak in footage, or there's always going to be at least a gameplay trailer. When that happens, that's when you guys can say, wow, you've completely fucked this game up just like the last one, just like the one before that. I hate you. Okay, that's fine. I'd prefer you not say it like that. You can call them out on their mistakes, but, you know, regardless, I understand where you're coming from. I get you, soul sister. But that's, you gotta wait for that time. You can't be jumping the gun this early. It just does not work. And I apologize to all the people at 343 for the people who do this on my behalf, because I think it's fucked up. But hey, we're only people. We're only human. Mistakes are made. That's it. So back to Titanfall and Destiny. Titanfall and Destiny, I think will work as long as they just attempt to listen to the competitive community. Just attempt. They just have to give us the bare necessities, and we'll make it work from there. But the most important thing here that I want to make sure everyone knows is that from here on out in different games, okay, why League of Legends works. Okay? Why does League of Legends work? Who here knows this answer? Is it because it's easy? Part of it. At a base level, it's pretty fucking simple. If you know nothing about computers, you're basically working with 6 buttons that you have to press. That's how my best friend explained it to me, who's in basic. Adam, if you watch this video, I love you like a sister. I miss you. Moving forward. He basically explained to me, like, you have 6 buttons and you have a mouse. That's it. And I said, oh, I only have to use 6 buttons. Fantastic. This is right up my alley, right? Think about that. That's it. Yeah, sure, it's simple until you get to the super competitive level and just the competitive level, and then everything's all intricate, right? Like, it's insane. You have, I'm not going to talk about everything about League of Legends, right? Like, because that's not going to serve a point. There's no reason, because everyone knows already. The game at a base level is simple. In the middle, it is spectator friendly, right? On top of that, they make you wait until you get to level 30 before you can even enter ranked. Now, when I think about that, I think to myself and I say, how brilliant is that? Because the first thing I want to do when I first got like Black Ops 2, I was like, the first thing I was doing, oh, fuck this, I want to play League play. That's what I want to do. I want to play League play. And the reason why I want to play League play is because I want to play against the people who are the best of the best. But now, if you took Black Ops 2 and you made me get to like the 2nd prestige in order to play the competitive playlist, like, I would grind the shit out of the game, right? Like, right away, I would grind the shit out of it just so I could enter that playlist. And I think that's so smart. Because, 1, it's going to teach me, like, the basics of the game. And then, 2, it's going to make me strive to compete. Now, will I actually compete as soon as I get in there? Right? Like, I have no idea. And League of Legends takes that gamble because they don't want a bunch of asshats coming in who just got the fucking game, running around with karma, running mid and shit. They don't want any of that. They want people who have an understanding of the game to enter ranked. And I think secretly that was like one of the best things they could have ever done. And when I think about it, I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I wish other games would do the same thing. I really do. Because then it's like, you get it from like the casual side, and then you come in and like you're exposed to like a whole new world. It's like the closet of Narnia. Some closets are just normal. Others lead you to a mystical world where rats just commit suicide. Reaper-Cheap, dude, what a jackass he was, right? In the 3rd one, he just commits suicide and everyone's like fucking fine with it. Fuck out of here. Fuck you, Reaper-Cheap, or whatever, Reaper-Cheap, whatever, you little mouse man, piece of shit. How dare you kill yourself? Hate that guy. I do. I really do. So anyways, so when I look at it, just for me, I think Titanfall and Destiny have really good shots at being competitive and becoming the #1 title. I really do. Why? Because Call of Duty Ghosts is, it's a lot of, I guess I can say it as nicely as possible. It's a couple steps back. And by a couple, I mean like 5 back from what Black Ops 2 was. Right? Like, I'm not saying, I'm not a guru at Call of Duty. I'm not shit. I just played Black Ops 2, which everyone considers to be the most competitive title, and it's the most successful, especially with viewers. That is why Call of Duty is where they're at. Now, Ghosts, like, the game needs a lot of patches. Like yesterday, when I was coaching my team, Curse Las Vegas, going against Complexity, TP, we're playing Blitz on Warhawk. We kill TP at his base. He spawns at our base. And caps the flag to win, or to go up in the match. So what I'm trying to say here is Blitz is kind of like capture the flag, right? So we killed him all the way back here. He was at his flag, right here over at the left pectoral. He was right here. And then he, on the respawn, spawns all the way across over here at the right pectoral where our flag is. And he just kind of walks in and caps the flag. It's not competitive. That is completely random. Those mistakes cannot be in a game. They just can't. They can't. Other than that, I mean, I think Call of Duty Ghosts is fine. I think Search and Destroy plays fine. I think Dom on occasion plays fine, even though apparently there's rumors of Dom, the same spawns happening as well. So that's definitely worrisome. But now, you know, when you factor that stuff in, it really just makes me sit here and think, like, there's no game is safe in esports. And the scariest part of esports, and this is for everyone out there who is interested in working as a broadcaster or a personality or wants to be a pro player. The scariest thing about our scene is that our jobs depend on the developers producing a game that we can compete in, and that's viewer friendly, and that works. And on top of all of that, it also has to be fun. I do not envy developers. I have no idea how it works. If you ask me how to make a game esports savvy, I can tell you. I can sit down and I can write you pages and I can basically do just about everything for you. I can find ways to raise money for tournaments, for you to host tournaments. That's easy. That's no sweat off my sack. I've been around the competitive scene long enough. I've seen it all. Just about. Right? Like, I've been around here for 12 years now. Well, technically 11, okay? According to the MLG post, okay? It's been 11 years. I've seen it. I've seen LAN centers, right? You guys remember LAN centers back in the day? Holy shit, did those take a fall. Apparently, there's still some that are working. I think, like, local battles in New Jersey or New York, apparently is doing very, very well. So, that's fucking salute. Congratulations. I think there needs to be more of you, but the problem is there's just... the business is just so tough because everyone has everything now. But, like, if you're telling me, like, how to bring in the casuals to a game, hey, I'll have some ideas. But that's like, that is not my cup of tea. If you're telling me how to program a map, I have no idea. You want me to program a level? 0% chance. You want me to design a level? Sure. I'll just make a symmetrical map. Unless it's Halo, then in which case I may do an asymmetrical map because the weapons on the map promote movement. That's it, right? Like, I don't envy any developers, and you guys have the hardest job out there. I swear to God you do. You really do. It's tough, man. It's a hellacious scene to be in. And I know because I've been at the top in my little world. Obviously the top back when I was a player and when I was a caster for Halo 3 wasn't exactly the full top because, like, Brood War players are just, like, kicking fucking dickin' on billboards, but to us in NA it was the top. And it's glorious. And then you go from that to having no events to, like, Bush, like, well, not even, like, Bush League, like, elementary events. And you're trying to put on the same show and you're trying to have the same passion. It's very, very, very tough. It's scary. It's a fucking scary world out there. But you make do with what you got, right? Because it's our passion after all. Passion is the driving force. But it doesn't matter because it's so scary. You have to know when to disconnect. And sometimes it's so much easier said than done. So I guess to answer the final question here is, do games need to be competitive? They don't. Games don't need to be competitive to win. But if they go the route of competitive, there's some things in there that are necessity. And I call them the big three. The big three are the number one, main, most important, not spectator mode, not ranks, developer support. You can have no ranks and no spectator mode, but if the developer is going to be feeding money into the league or into their own league or into the players, however it's going to work, then the game's going to excel. Okay? Next one after that's going to be spectator mode. Well, the other two aren't in order. Number one is developer support. Spectator modes is very, very important. The reason why is because everyone knows this. You can have online tournaments. You can then showcase players. You can start making people household names. Especially in a new game. You're going to have to be able to make people household names who may not have a big following. Because with every new game, there comes new talent, new faces to the scene. And that people have no idea who they are. And it's the personality's job to showcase them and bring light to them and create them into this star player. Then last but not least is definitely going to be ranks. Ranks are important for many different reasons. One, I saw this was funny to me. Someone posted, I saw someone say something along the lines of, like, the game needs to be good before you need to add ranks. And right? Like, it's funny to me, right? How many games out there have you guys played where the game was absolutely awful, just a train wreck, but there was ranks? I don't know what to do with my hands. Barely any. I can't think of any. I can name a lot of average games that had ranks or that didn't. I can name a shit ton of average games that didn't have ranks. A shit ton of games that were on the cusp of being good and didn't have ranks. And ranks promote longevity. And as long as you reset them. And if you don't reset them, I don't give a shit. Just make it hard as that I can go from 1 to 50 or 1 to 1,000, and it's difficult. So you have your game last more than freaking 9 months, and then people are tired of it. That is the key. Either reset the ranks or make it super hard. And either way, if you make it super hard, now this is the problem that a lot of people miss. If you make it super hard, this is going to be more enticing for the cheaters to kind of come out there. This is also going to make it more enticing for people to sell accounts to other people. They're like, oh, you want this level 43? You want to be one of 200 people who have a level 43? Give me $1,600. And they're like, oh, well, I really care. Here's the money, right? But if you're making it so it resets every month and a half, every 3 months, every season, right? You could do it in quarters, right? Just fall. Oh, it reset. Winter solstice is here. Let's reset them. It can be that brainless. I don't give a shit. But if you reset them, you're going to eliminate them. Okay? And then you're going to have the people who are consistent. No one's going to want to cheat. People will be less enticed to cheat if you're resetting it every 4 months than if you're just like, here's ranks, fuck it. It's those little things. And then with ranks, you know, a lot of developers are always worried about, like, you know, cheaters, right? Obviously cheaters and selling accounts. So you gotta add a report system. I don't want to have to report a player to Xbox and Microsoft. I want to be able to report a player to you, the developer. You have community managers. They're there for a reason. Make it. I don't, even if it shouldn't be as hard as, like, it shouldn't be like, take a picture of the game or take a vine of the game and bring it to the forums. Like, it shouldn't be like that. And, like, just add a button where I can send feedback on the player if he's been cheating. Now, before I get into it, okay? Good players are going to get reported by other players who are less skilled because they're going to be like, oh, there's no way he's that good. Fuck him. I'm going to report him for cheating. So you're going to actually have to use this thing up here to decide. I don't care how it works. It doesn't matter to me, but something has to happen. On top of that, the last thing that needs to be in just console sports, esports, right? Or esport titles, or console games, really. I don't give a shit what you want to call it. The last thing that's most important to me is figuring out a way to deal with the quitters. I think the feedback thing's the same thing. But on top of that, I know DDoS is around. I do. I understand. Give people 4 quits. I think 4 quits is about the right number. Give people 4 quits, and if they quit out 4 times, ban them. Just be a dick. Just ban them for a day. 2 days. I don't care. Ban them for 6 hours. They need to be punished. Like, obviously, if there's DDoS there, which is going to be a problem, I understand. Okay? I really, really, really understand. But 4 times, like, you know, when I play, I may get DDoS twice. 3 times. Like, and then I'm like, okay, Scott, we are changing the IP 4 different times on top of it, and then coming in hot, right? That little stuff, like, I know, like, I don't, even when I was at Maven's for Call of Duty Ghosts, and there was like a battalion of, there was like a group of people just hitting off every person who tried to stream Call of Duty Ghosts. Even when that happened, it was 3 times. And then we were just like, screw it. You know, like, maybe we just won't stream. And we never got hit off again. And then we went back live. And guess what? Didn't get knocked off. So 4 or 5 times. Just make it so I know if I get matched up with fucking Johnny Tsunami with the hair and the surfboard, that if he's with me 4 times in a row, for whatever reason, and he quits out 4 times, I know I can sit here and laugh like, ha ha ha! Yes, you burn in hell, motherfucker. I know you're bad. I am happy now. My time is no longer ruined. Those things are consistent. That's going to do it for today. There's going to be more of this because this topic is never going to die. And as I keep thinking, I'm just going to keep going. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you want, I want everyone's feedback on this because I think this is important. I think it's the most important thing we as a community, we as people can do is to really sit down and start thinking about this shit because it's our future. Like, we need solutions. Like, we need to really come to an understanding on everything or else this is just going to be a waste of our time. Next thing you know, everything will be motion censored and all of our careers are just going to go to shit. We'll be playing fucking Fruit Ninja 7. Just like... Right? Like, no one wants that. I don't want that. Who wants to fucking do that? Right? So, just... weigh in on this. I don't care. You can be as mean as you want to me if you think I'm wrong, but then I'll just throw a number in your face and say 11 years moving forward. But I just want to have a normal conversation with a bunch of different people about this because it's really important. Other than that, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. Yes, I remembered my outro.